Hey guys, I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Whether you're watching this in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening, I'm glad you're here. Today is going to be kind of an odd little video. Let me try to straighten this out. And I went through and been looking through some of the different folding knives in my collection, some that I haven't really messed with in a while. And I wanted to come up with some that were just kind of different, right? A little bit out of the ordinary. So what I did is I went through and kind of picked out 5 knives just to kind of talk about, and that are to me non-conventional but are still all very good knives in their own respect. Starting out with the Qvist Variant PE. This little knife is an absolute joy. It's a little sheep's footy Warncliffe with kind of a sway back handle. It does not look like it would be a comfortable knife. It does not look like any other knife. It was very economical. When I say economical, for the materials used, I want to say this knife was around $125 with titanium scales, fully milled titanium scales, and a 20 CV hollow ground blade. This guy is an EDC slicer. I mean, for anything that I need on a daily carry, this little frame lock lives up to it. Again, it's got quality materials. It's got a unique front flipper. If you guys have watched the channel for any amount of time, you know I hate front flippers, but this one's done very well. What I like about it is it's got the deployment hole that works both in a thumb flick, which I hate, top flip, which I hate, middle flick, which just makes me feel warm and fuzzy. So this knife, the sound on it's great, the detent's great, I think the ergonomics are great. I have cut a lot of cardboard with this. You would think this hump or this divot would be uncomfortable, but my middle finger just kind of flops there. And again, whether you're doing detail cuts, cutting pull cuts, cutting cardboard, whatever you're needing to cut, even if you're saving your Slurpee. Just a great knife. And again, to me, it was well under 130 bucks. I forget the exact price. And I liked it so much that this is actually my second Variant PE. And I've also got the little Vanish because I'm just so fond of the shape. But that's what we're going to say is number 5, and that's the Qvist Vanish. Coming in at another one, number 4 on a very weird, cool, unique knife list. This is the Kizer Mercury. This knife looks like a little old school straight razor. It's very well done. It's a gentleman's folder, I guess we could call it, because it's a liner lock. The blade pretty much disappears into the handle. You've got micro milling on the scales, so you've really got nice texture there on the scales. I might have Dopey, when he gets caught up, anno this for me. I'm not crazy about the gold, but that's my only downside of it. You've got this little hollow ground razor style blade. They call it a cleaver on the website where I got it. I think I picked it up at, I don't remember if it was White Mountain Knives or if it was one of the, no, I know exactly where I got it. I ordered it from Kizer when it first dropped. So yeah, this is they call it a cleaver. I don't think of it as a cleaver. I think of it more kind of a razor type knife. But it's super ergonomical, very slim in the hand, a great package opener, a great paper cutter, a great paracord slasher, strap popper, you name it. I mean, it's a slasher. It's just a great little knife. It's very fidgety. It's a flipper tab only deployment, which is something that I'd kind of sworn off a year or two ago when I started really falling into my my middle finger flick. But this knife, the detent's tuned so well. The flipper tab is very minimalistic. It's jimped very nicely, and literally it takes no effort to deploy the knife. and I'm just a huge fan. And coming in at like my number, we'll call it the number 4 weird ass knife, is the Kizer Mercury. So moving on, we come to our first, and I say first because there's another one, our Spyderco from Taichung, Thailand, which is the plant, in my opinion, that makes the nicest Spydercos and the most complicated Spydercos and also the most unique. This is, again, the Spyderco Watu. The Watu, and something that's kind of unique, or not unique, but to me it's what would you call it? A identifying trait of the Taichung plant is this laminated carbon fiber type of, I think it's laid on top of G10. I'm not 100% sure, but this little knife is one of the thinnest, pokiest slicers I've got in my collection. It is an S30 or 20 CPM 20CV, so it's 20 CV blade. It is very, very thin, and it is very much a self-defense knife. It utilizes Spyderco's compression lock, which makes it very fidgety. It's got the spider hole, which is the only way to deploy it, which is my favorite way, but if you're not a middle finger flicker, Spydercos are really designed to be slow rolled out. So it's just a great one-hand knife. You don't have to be a flicker to appreciate it. But this guy is an absolute laser beam. This is a therapeutic cutter if there ever was one. I'm a huge fan of it. I love the wire clip. I love the minimalistic nature of the knife because it is very, very light. Just to give you an idea, because this knife is impressively light. Three ounces, and I bet it's a 3-inch blade. Whoops. So yeah, it's going to be well within the inch per ounce thing that I don't pay any attention to. So 3 1/4, 3-inch cutting area. So yeah, this knife just kills it on so many different areas, and I'm just a huge, huge fan. It's got great jimping right here up at the front. It again is very slicey, very pokey, has a splinter digger tip if you need it to, and again it's just a light package with a wire clip that goes in and out of pocket flawlessly, and I really dig it. Then we come to our number 2 weird knife, and this knife's weird on a lot of different levels. This is the Boker Impetus, Boker plus Impetus, excuse me. It's a collaboration between Birch Tree Blades and Boker. It might look familiar to you guys. This is the knife that inspired the Spyderco Bombshell, i.e. Danger Pickle, the collaboration between Birch Tree Blades and Spyderco. This is kind of a little bit larger version of that knife. And this one's had a mod. That was me failing it. This one's actually had a mod done to it by BG Hill. Did a mod for me on this Impetus because it used to have a big flipper tab here, and it used to be a flat grind, and it wasn't acid etched like that. But BJ did the Bombshell mod, which is the Spyderco Danger Pickle mod, and he reground it, made this thing. It's a big, thick chunk of D2 that's been reground to just a slicey chunk of odd pelican looking little knife that I just absolutely am crazy about. It's got great flicker action, or like any Spyderco type knife, you can slow roll it out. Got a very substantial stop pin, a nice internal milled frame lock with these bolsters, or bolster lock I guess you'd call it. And I'm just a huge fan. I didn't like it as much before the mod, but the mod made it just a one-of-a-kind piece. Fits my hand great. I really like this knife. So coming in at number 2 on some weird, cool knives still in my collection is the Boker Impetus with the BJ Hill Bombshell Danger Pickle mod. Brings us to my number 1 weird ass knife in this video, and I'm sure I can come up with more weird ass knife videos. But this is a very weird ass knife, and it's kind of one of my favorites. It's the Spyderco Ikushi, right? And it's a Spyderco that I fell in love with early in my collecting, but probably, I'm guessing about 2 years ago. This little knife struck me because I'd seen a video on it, and I'd never seen a knife that had a flipper deployment like this. So this flipper deployment, instead of it being a little angular flipper that sticks out, you've got this little 1/4 inch of a wheel, little semicircle here. And you simply just pull back on that. It's compression lock. And that little skinny blade flies out of that handle. This is also a Taichung, Taiwan Spyderco. This one is an S30V. Yeah, I think that's what it's in. Or is it in 20 CV2? No, S30V. It's a little flat ground satin blade with a fantastic sharpening choil that is an absolute, like all of these knives, a therapeutic cutter. Very pokey, stabby, very slashy. This is a gentleman's knife that you could use to eat steak with. You could use it to open packages if you're using it as an office knife, an EDC knife. It's basically going to be up to any urban task I could think you would put it through. I don't think, there's going to be anything super hardcore you're going to want to do with this knife, because it does have a very, very sharp tip that's just a splinter digger if you want it to be. But to me, it's sexy. I love the fact that even though you don't need it, you've got this hole that integrates with the hole in the handle for the signature Spyderco look. And then again, that blade leaves nothing coming out of the show or out of the scales there. It's fully recessed, and it's just, to me, a very, very clean, cool little package. So guys, that's 5, I think, and let me know if I missed the mark, but I think these are all very weird, unique, but yet functional and cool knives. Whoops, not going in order. We got our Spyderco Watu, we've got our Kizer Mercury, and we've got our Qvist Vanish. Or excuse me, that's the slip joint. This is the Variant PE. Mercury by Kizer, Watu by Spyderco, the Boker plus Impetus with our BJ Hill mod, and our sick Wicked Regrind, and then the Spyderco Ikushi. Guys, I appreciate you watching the content. I hope you found it somewhat entertaining. I appreciate you, I really do. And if you would be so kind, please look out for the guy or gal to your left. Please look out for the guy or gal to your right. Please look out for each other. Go forward with love in your heart. And please choose debate, not hate. I love you all. Peace.